Okay, what's up, y'all? It's Scott Santana, aka Chi, I think, bitch, because I got a million and one of the fucking names, okay? But what's up, y'all? It's Scott Santana. So, listen, there was something online that I wanted to talk about, and I've been kind of going back and forth in my mind about whether or not I wanted to talk about this because it's such a touchy subject. And listen, actually, don't get me wrong, I am going to talk about it, but as I keep saying with every fucking thing lately, I'm going to be talking about it on my Let's Start There podcast, which is coming starting next Wednesday, okay? August 11th, 2021. That's when new episodes are coming. So definitely make sure that you look out for that, which is going to be my social commentary podcast where we talk about real life, but I'll also give stories from my life, right? Now, while I'm going to save the bulk of what I really want to say for that podcast because it gets super fucking deep and super controversial, I saw something on the Shade Room. Well, I saw something everywhere, but the Shade Room is where we're referencing right now. That made me. Let me just show y'all what it is, right? Let me stop stalling and let me just show you what it is, right? So, New York City to require proof of vaccination for restaurants, gyms, and other indoor activities. CNN basically tweeted out that just in, New York City will require proof of vaccination to enter all restaurants and fitness centers, Mayor Bill de Blasio announces. If you're unvaccinated, unfortunately, you will not be able to participate in many things, said de Blasio. It looks like the city of New York will be one of the first major cities to require proof of vaccination in order to participate in indoor activities. According to CNN, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio made the announcement on Tuesday and said, if you're unvaccinated, unfortunately, you will not be able to participate in many things. And if you want to participate in our society fully, you've got to get vaccinated. Plans to enforce this policy will reportedly begin to go into effect within the next few weeks as corporations begin to present the vaccine requirements for their employees. One of the many indoor activities that have already started to announce the requirement for vaccination for both consumers and employees is ... But we can already assume it's bars, restaurants, things of that nature. Now, I live in New York. Those of you guys that don't know, because, I haven't really been active as the Sky Santana brand in the last 2 years. I mean, even though I have with my Tower Gang and Ratchet Recipes. Okay, hello, work, okay. But I've moved out of Jersey last year, and I now live in New York City. And again, I'm not going to go super fucking crazy deep into all of this since that is the whole point of the podcast and the episodes, but we still got to make content. So just to give you guys a bit of backstory, I was born and raised in Jersey, moved over to New York, and for the last year, I've been living in New York, and I actually moved to New York City to Manhattan, okay? Like not like Brooklyn or Harlem or no, to the city in the middle of the pandemic, like right when the pandemic started. So the pandemic started in March, and about May, 2 days before my birthday, I moved to New York City. And I've been here ever since. And it's been amazing because the thing that I love about New York is that, yes, it's super crowded here. Yes, a lot of people migrated, like a lot of people left, and, a lot of crazy things happened. But as far as the way that the pandemic happened compared to other places like Atlanta, which never fucking closed down, New York City took it very seriously. So everybody here was wearing masks and social distancing. And, because you would think that New York City, there's a whole bunch of people here that, oh my God, how will y'all ever survive? And y'all are the first people that need vaccines and all of this dumb shit. But New York City took this shit very, very fucking seriously. And so, even with the mayor and the governor, they had us on different phases and was like, okay, phase 1, phase 2, And phase 4 was supposed to be the phase where gyms open up, bars open up, and clubs open up, right? And we were supposed to be able to enjoy indoor entertainment again, but that never happened. Phase 4 was back in June of 2020, and that did not happen until June of this year. So that goes to show that we definitely took shit seriously here. Now, here's my fucking issue. Because, of course, if New York and the governor and the mayor took everything seriously last year, of course they're going to take shit seriously now, right? Here's my problem. And I'm going to go way deeper on the pod. I'm going to keep saying that. Because I know shit. And then I know shit, okay? Shout out to those of y'all that was on my spirituality channel. You know what I'm talking about. Psychic, light worker, gifter, all that, okay? If you want to get vaccinated, that is your business. That is your business. And listen, I come from the world of freedom of choice. You do what's best for you, right? Some of y'all are in positions where you have no choice. I totally get it. Do what you want to do. But it's starting to get a little weird, okay? And it's been getting a little weird. You know things are fucked up when there's more incentives to get a shot than there is to just go back on lockdown. And so now it's at a point where you have all of these incentives like win $1 million on a lottery or get a year free of Dunkin' Donuts, a year free of Subway, get a year free of MetroCard, like all of these crazy ass incentives. I've even seen, different companies be like, yeah, we're sending kids to school that get the vaccine. And it's like, and then y'all wonder why people are anti-vaxxers are out here confused. Then let's throw in everything that's been happening. Because, see, mind you, none of this is surprising to me at all. None of it. Because I come from the spiritual world. I come from the occult world where, I've dabbled in tarot. I've dabbled in astrology, like, spiritual, psychic gift, all of that. So there's shit I know, shit that I've seen, shit that I've researched. And astrology been called out all of this shit, down to the pandemic even happening. You can literally go on YouTube and see that there's people who predicted the pandemic back in 2018, 2019. Okay, and predicted every step of the way. Oh, this is when we're going to wear masks. This is when masks is going to stop. This is when the CDC is something that's going to come out about this, that, and a third. This is when email, like, everything has already been documented by people who have already studied this shit and knew that it was going to happen. So my problem here is that we're dealing with a society where 1 minute you tell us wear a mask. 1 minute you tell us no, don't wear a mask. Then it becomes, oh, well, masks are effective. Then it becomes, okay, everybody go back on masks. Okay, everybody stop when, like, everything is all over the fucking place. Then you're like, okay, vaccines work. They're saving lives. And then we're finding out people are dying from them. But then it's like, okay, well, that's not all the numbers. And then you're hiding numbers. And it's like all of this fucking confusion. And people still don't understand why people do not want to get vaxxed. And it's like this push. Again, there was not this same push in terms of just locking America down. But there's this push because everybody's worried about if we shut down, we're not going to make money. We're going to lose. Like, and again, I'm trying not to get too deep in just a regular video. But I'm going to just say this. I want people who are vaccinated, stop trying to force vaccines on everybody. Okay? Everybody's not that thirsty to get back to regular life, whatever that is. Like, the margarita can wait. I'm not that thirsty to go shake my ass at a club that I'm just going to throw caution to the wind and do something against what my gut is telling me just because I want to enjoy Taco Tuesday or you want to enjoy Taco Tuesday. Like, it has to make sense. And we're at the point where we've been in a pandemic 2 years now. Vaccines have been available for almost a year, if not, give or take 6, 7, 8, 9 months. People are not stupid. If they were going to get the vaccine, they already would have. So this is where things start getting weird. Because again, if you want to get the vaccine, I totally get it. I totally get it. And I also understand the people that are like, okay, we'll get the vaccine. The more of us that get it, immunity herd and this, that, and which is impossible. But those of y'all that's like, get the vaccine. And then, we all need to feel protected. And okay. At the end of the day, people are going to decide whether they want to get it or they don't. And all this confusion that's coming up every other 2 weeks and all of this, there's a truth one moment, now there's a lie, and this is getting exposed. I don't understand how y'all don't see how people are skeptical. But now it's starting to get weird because what was a choice initially is starting to feel like we are being forced into something. And that's why I have a problem. And I want to talk about it. Because don't tell people in America that they have the choice of whether or not to get vaccinated, right? And if they choose not to get vaccinated, just wear your mask, right? Like, for example, for me, I don't go anywhere, right? I do go places, but it's like a Friday night, Saturday night, and maybe a Tuesday night, right? My life is very boring, okay? I really should be out a lot more than I actually am. Like, I was just saying to myself this morning, like, I hate how my summer has been. Like, I really should be out, but I'm home all day working and doing what I have to do. And so I live in an apartment by myself. When I do go out, I'm masked the fuck up, and it's literally to the grocery store and back home. And then maybe I'll go out on the weekend, right? And so I have no problem wearing a mask, being unvaccinated. I have no problem wearing a mask and following whatever, right? And then the places that I do go, are quote unquote vaccinated only, right? Or people vaccinated only, or people that have recently tested positive, negative, right? Right. And we're gonna get to that. So I understand where it's like, okay, if you're not gonna get vaxxed, the least you could do is wear a mask to stop the spread. Okay, I get that. I'm not one of those people. I'm not against vaccines necessarily. I mean, I am for me, but if that's what you want to do what you want to do. Okay, right? I know that COVID is a real thing. I know that it is. I know that it is. But again, here's where things start getting weird when it stops becoming a choice. Because then when you're like, well, you don't have to get the vaccine, but now we're going to just make your life hard. That's where people like myself are like, okay, what's really the fuck going on? Because now you're saying, and mind you, everything that people try to write off as a conspiracy theory, it's crazy how it became true, right? Like before it was like, oh, vaccine passports. A year ago, it was like people were saying vaccine passports, and it's like, shut the fuck up. And guess what's happening now? You need a vaccine passport, at least in New York, to do anything now. And it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. Even when things started opening up, people were still joking about it, like, okay, yeah, and whatever, but no. And then, then New York tried to say, okay, in order to go to like a bar or a club, you have to be either fully vaccinated or a proof of a negative test. That only lasted 2 weeks because by June 15th, that's when the CDC was like, okay, no mask. And then New York lifted all regulations, okay? Because that's when Jupiter went into Pisces, and Pisces is delusional energy, okay? And Jupiter is a planet of wealth and abundance and all of that. And so when Jupiter went into Pisces, everybody went into illusion and was like, pandemic is over and everything's going to be okay and da-da-da-da. And then once Jupiter slipped back into Aquarius, and boom, that's when restrictions came back into play around July 28th. And it was like, no, we got to bring the mask back. We got to da-da-da-da, right? But my point is that what initially started as, okay, you can only go to the club and the bar if you're either fully vaccinated or you have proof that you took a negative test and your test is negative or whatever. Now it's become not just at the clubs, but now everywhere outside. Now you can't go to the gym. You can't go to the club or bar. You can't go to a restaurant to eat. Don't get me wrong. Again, like I said at the beginning, I live in New York City where we have not been able to party, not party since February 2020. Now, don't get me wrong, we found other ways. Last summer the beach was popping and the beach is still popping, and COVID didn't stop outdoor shit. Like everything indoor stopped, but like, that's when New York got creative, and we have outdoor rooftop bars here, and other ways of partying. And so it still went on, but as far as indoors, right? So how do we go from allowing indoor dining, being able to efficiently do that all year long as numbers are going down, and then now all of a sudden, because we're pushing vaccines, now you have to get vaccinated in order to enjoy an indoor bar and an indoor club, which is understandable if, we hadn't done that okay, cool. But now when you take away things that you allowed us to do and now say that everybody can't do it, now, yeah, it's getting weird. Because we didn't need vaccinations all pandemic long when we were allowed to do indoor dining at 15% and 30% and 100%. But now we do. Because now you're trying to make sure that nobody is allowed to do anything unless there's vaccinations. So when you add all of that, all of those restrictions on top of all of the incentives that you're throwing at people instead of just locking down the fucking country or locking down the state, and then you throw on top of that, you have people that are so thirsty to have a Taco Tuesday night or to have their old lives back as if that's ever coming back. It gets to a point where it starts feeling a little cult-like, a little like, what the fuck is going on? What is the push? I come out and say I'm gay and I'm happy and I'm proud. I got millions of people yelling out a gay agenda. So you can't tell me that all of this is going on and not one person is raising their eyebrow like, okay, is it a COVID agenda? This is the part where I started speaking too much for YouTube. So I'm going to shut up. But all I'm gonna say is this: is that I saw the posts, and I just wanted to say things are getting a little weird. Um, Again, I'm not here to tell anybody to do anything. If you want to get vaccinated, baby, get vaccinated. Do you? You know what I'm saying? Do you? Do you? I'm not here to tell anybody to do anything, right? So I'm not a. Don't look at me like, oh, I'm an anti-vax or anything like that. No, all I'm saying is that everything doesn't make sense. Everything doesn't make sense, and it's starting to get a little weird. And it's starting to feel like people no longer have a choice, and we're being forced into a situation. And again, it would be different if the vaccinations solved the problem. You know what I mean? Because that's everybody's excuse. Everybody's excuse is, oh, well, as a kid, you got a shot for chicken pox and a flu, and you're fine. But are we? Because what other life do we know other than a life where we got what we got as a kid? And please stop bringing up what happened to me at 9 years old that I could not control because I needed to go to school. Like, please stop. Stop with that, because a lot of y'all sound dumb. You really sound dumb. Oh, you had to get this, that, and that shot in order to go to this school, right? In order to go to high school. Okay, but first of all, that was that shot and this shot, two different things. Second of all, I didn't have a choice with that, because more than likely I was in a situation where my parents decided to fund me. Third, things weren't the same as they are now. Like, it was completely different government, completely different structure. The trust was there. Like, so much is different. So a lot of these excuses that y'all are going towards, it's like you're pulling it out of it. Like, like I said, it would be one thing if the vaccinations 100% worked. I know at least 4 or 5 people right now with COVID. At least 4 or 5 people that are all fully vaccinated. Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, still got it. Fully vaccinated, still got it. I also live in New York City, where I understand how things operate, because anybody that's watched my Storytime videos have heard me say time and time and time again before, when I go out, I make it my job to befriend everybody at the events that I go to. The doorman, the bartender, all of that. Because I know how I am. And I know that I'm very clumsy. And I know that I often lose my wallet and my IDs and stuff like that. And so if you have good rapport built with a security guard, oh, that's just Ari. Bitch, come in. I don't need your ID. Come on, girl, come on. If you got bouncers doing that with identification, what makes you think that these bouncers ain't about to do the same thing when it comes to a vaccination pass? If I can tip $20 to get into a place because I ain't got an ID or because I'm underage, what the fuck y'all think these niggas about to do with vaccination passes? These security guards and bouncers, because see, right now, from what I've seen, there are literal cops outside the bars, making sure you know what? And let me spill a little bit of tea. Allegedly, I may have allegedly went someplace that was supposed to be checking to make sure everybody was fully vaccinated, and I may have allegedly pulled out my phone and whispered to this bouncer, I ain't got it, but we're going to sit here and act like we do. Why? Because I'm pretty. And that's exactly what we did, as the cops behind us watched us, and I got in anyways because I'm pretty. What's stopping the rest of New York from doing the same damn thing I did? I'm saying all of that to say, again, I'm not here to tell people don't give that, do what you want. I really don't give a damn. I don't. I'm tired of all of this shit. Honestly, I don't really give a damn. But all I'm saying is that it's getting a little weird when we start forcing certain shit when it don't necessarily like I'm here with shit being enforced if it's going to force some positive solutions. But if all you're doing is forcing shit and it's forcing people to go around what you forcing to get creative and think of some other shit, which keeps us in the same motherfucking time loop, that's why I have a fucking issue. That's where it gets fucking weird. 4 or 5 fucking people that I know with COVID right now, fully vaccinated. I understand the vaccine is supposed to slow down the spread. Like, because see, here's the thing too. A lot of people are saying, oh, when you have the vaccine, that means that like a lot of people got to twist it and think the vaccine means that no more deaths. No, baby. The vaccine is literally to control the virus and slow down the spread of it. But you can still catch it in a room full of people that's vaccinated. In a room full of people that's vaccinated. And there's no 100% way ever to know who's vaxxed, who's not, who got it, who don't. Because a lot of people are walking around right now without fucking symptoms. And you would never know that they had it. I would go a lot deeper. But I'm going to say that for a future episode. All I'm going to say is something needs to be figured out. Let me check my notes and make sure I hit every point that I wanted to hit. But something needs to be figured out. And I don't feel like it's just as easy down the middle as wear masks, get vaxxed. I don't. And y'all can drink the Kool-Aid because y'all are so thirsty to have a margarita at Taco Tuesday or get back to normal life. Y'all can drink the Kool-Aid and gamble with y'all lives if y'all want to. But some of us out here, it don't make us a conspiracy theorist. It doesn't make us an anti-vaxxer. It doesn't make us anything to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to just hold off for a little bit. I'm going to just figure out what's best for me. And we should not be penalized or punished because of wanting to do so. Because again, I'm here for pushing vaxxers. If it's the best solution and 100% going to work, or then I could see it. But then when every other week, something else is getting exposed about something that we thought we knew and a truth that we thought was a truth turns out to be a lie and shit is all over the place and we're not knowing what to believe. You cannot get mad at people for saying, I'm sorry. This is too much of a messy, bloody crime scene for me to figure out clearly who done did it. Because anybody that's watched How to Get Away with Murder knows that, what is it? It's not about who actually did it. It's about the evidence that you could come up with or some shit like that. Like, same shit with this. It's like, it's too much going on. There's too many lies. There's too much this, that, and the third. Too much data that's not being shown. And then the data that is being shown, like, it's... And I can't be the only one that feels that way. I can't be. And matter of fact, I know I'm not. Let's bring this article back up. Let's go through some of these comments. So many businesses about to lose money. A violation of human rights, and I'm still not getting it. What difference does it make if a vaccinated person can transmit the virus as well? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Then you got people that saying DoorDash just your opportunity because now all of a sudden we want to compare, like, okay, because again, people are just grasping for shit and like really, it's like, and that's why I'm doing this video because it's like, y'all gotta stop making it look like people that don't want to get vaxxed are just scared or just pulling shit out of thin air. Like, are we not all living the same reality? Like, I'm literally seeing tweets on Twitter like, y'all acting like you don't have a reason to trust the government in the middle of a pandemic? No. Not a pandemic that they knew was coming, saw was coming, and did nothing to stop. Now we want that same GOV to suddenly... The same GOV that saw this pandemic coming, now you want me to put my 100% trust in... Stop shaming people because it's really getting weird. And I already knew that there was going to be a split in the collective. Again, people that follow me on my spirituality channel, this ain't nothing new. We done talked about this 1,000,001 times, and I talked about how there would be a split in the collective. You would have those that have awakened and ascended, and then you would have those that are choosing to stay behind, and it's sink or swim right now. And I've spoken about that 1,001 times, and it's the same thing with this situation. It's like, you have people that just get it, and then you have people that don't. Now, this is a whole lot of bullshit. So basically, y'all just gonna force us to take the vaccine. At this point, y'all forcing the vaccine on us, and I don't like that. So they're not forcing you, but they forcing you. Mind you, this is a shade room, and y'all know I do not like the shade room, and it's very ignorant. But this is the one time where everybody making sense. I barely go places now, so I'll be okay with not participating. Then you better cancel my gym membership for free. Okay? Let's start there. Okay? This makes no sense because they already stated vaccine don't protect you from not spreading it. Okay? New York always coming with the bullshit. We knew this was coming. Now the unvaccinated are second-class citizens. So basically, it's a lockdown for anyone who doesn't want to be a part of the agenda or simulation. Because let's talk about it. Y'all always want to bring up race in every situation. We already know who not getting the vax. We already know. We already fucking know who. Take out and indoor workouts. Next case, okay? Don't be worried. Someone going to be making false vaccination cards. Vaccinated people can still get COVID. This is I don't like being around people anyway. Give me my shit to go. They will get sued. Businesses are private. This feels like a movie, right? When people who have gotten vaccinated are still catching it. No one is making any sense. And that's just my point right there. Again, I know too many people that have gotten vaccinated and still have it. I also know too many people who have gotten it without noticing symptoms. Didn't even know. If it made sense, cool. But again, I didn't do this video to tell people what to do or persuade you to a certain side. No, all I'm saying is that please stop trying to force the narrative down people's throats. At this point, we've been in a pandemic 2 years. At this point, people have been getting vaccinated since January. People have already made up their mind. And trying to force people into a situation by saying, okay, well, I'm going to take your allowance away. Okay, I'm going to take your school lunch away. Okay, I'm going to take the bus that you need to get home away. It's like, it's getting weird. It's getting weird. It's getting fucking weird. And I also want people to be mindful too. Of the people that's of the occult. You cannot be of God and then want to mix a show. Oh, and I'm starting to get too deep on y'all, but I'm going to go there a little bit. Shout out to the episode that's coming. Because I've seen people relate what's going on back to God. And I've seen people that ain't prayed a day in their motherfucking life try to clown them like, what the fuck this got to do with God? And there's a lot to do with God. First of all, let's start there. Because people have their own individual relationships to God. Let's start there. But one thing that I want people to stop doing is trying to mix astrology with what's going on. Let me read y'all something that I saw on Twitter earlier today, and it pissed me off. Because, again, it's getting weird. And it's getting cult-like. Because the things that I'm seeing, especially with commercials and the programming. And listen, I have Neptune and Uranus in my first house. I'm naturally rebellious and I naturally question everything. Capricorn rising at that. Saturn in my first house as well. So I know all about structures and following the rules, but I also know about breaking them. And I also know when the rules are some bullshit or when somebody is making up a rule to get you to do what it is that they want you to do. And I don't like some of the programming that I see happening. But again, when you're not awakened, everybody's not awakened, so everybody may not notice what's going on. But some of the programming of commercials, and again, just like people try to say, oh, there's a gay agenda, there's definitely an agenda that's happening with this whole pandemic. And some of the shit that I'm saying, I do not like. But I saw this tweet earlier that said, this Jupiter in Aquarius, I want you to wear a mask, socially distance, and vaccinate as soon as it's available to you. Vaccinated people can still get and spread COVID-19, but are far less likely to get really sick. I want you to protect yourself and other people. First of all, Jupiter being in Aquarius has nothing to do with wearing a fucking mask. Let's start there. Jupiter in Aquarius energy is all about being a leader, all about stepping out of fear into faith, all about being your own person, your own human, right? And this is a fucking astrologer on Twitter, and even people were in the comments like, bitch, what the fuck is you talking about? They ain't got nothing to do with Jupiter and Aquarius energy. Maybe Jupiter and Virgo, but not Jupiter and Aquarius. Like, And without getting too deep, because I know a lot of y'all probably don't know what the fuck I'm talking about with all this astrological talk, I'm going to just say it's getting weird. It's getting really weird. And again, is margaritas on Taco Tuesday all that worth it for y'all to be out here trying to force people to do some shit that they already made up their mind that they don't want to do? Like, is it really worth it? Because it's getting weird. And I'm seeing a very clear division. And it's getting to the point where it's like, now you're going to have to start choosing who you want to be friends with. Because now a vaccination, a fucking shot in the arm is going to come between whether or not you can keep a friendship going with somebody. Because you're going to want to be able to do things that I know I'm not going to be able to do because I'm not choosing to get vaxxed. And then that's going to make you feel away. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to subtweet on Instagram and say, why can't y'all just get it? And I'm telling y'all, there's a great divide going on right now. People are not going to be friends with who they were. People are separating. Things are getting weird. And I just wanted to bring all of this up. That's it. Let me see. Is there anything else that I wanted to speak about? Mind you, it's 2:13 in the morning. This is how you know I'm passionate about this shit. And I'm really back. People are saying unvaxxed people are the issue, but if you can still get COVID from vaxxed people, what's the difference? Yep. Fully vaxxed people are still getting it, but I know for people, yeah. NYC passports when work security would just become lax as they do with vaccines, yeah. And that's why I'm about to end this. So definitely, if you enjoyed this, be on the lookout for Let's Start There, which is my podcast, which is coming next week. Okay, listen, I know I'm definitely going to start putting up episodes sooner than that. Definitely make sure that you sign up for patreon.com/Sky World, because I will have like at least 3 or 4 of my Let's Start There episodes ready to go over on that platform. Okay, so if you don't want to wait on a weekly basis and you want to get like a month full of episodes before everybody else and have early access to videos and all of that good shit, definitely make sure that you sign up for patreon.com/Sky World for more access to my content. And let's start there. My social commentary and storytelling podcast, where I talk about different topics every episode and I give real life stories. So definitely, if you enjoyed this, I will be doing an episode all about COVID, and I will be telling actual stories from my life to supplement, not just my thoughts and my opinions and all that, but So definitely be on the lookout for Let's Start There. Podcast coming next week. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, pretty much everywhere. All right, so I love each and every one of y'all, and I hope y'all fucking enjoy this. I hope y'all enjoy this. I enjoyed it. I'm definitely happy that I'm back doing commentary and whatnot, and I will see y'all in the motherfucking next one. Bye. Oh, follow me on Twitter. Make sure that y'all follow me on Twitter. Okay, you can follow me on Instagram too, but follow me on Twitter because I'll talk hella shit on Twitter, hella cash money shit on Twitter, and that's what should be going down. Follow me on Twitter so y'all can retweet my shit and make me go viral. Bye, y'all. Bye. She's fine, she's a dime. Teddy's hoes, it's a fine. She got shine, she got rhyme, she got moolah on her mind. She's a fine, she that